Hi, in this video I'm going to show you the installation of Oracle Database 26 AI, Oracle Apex and its deployment on all three servers recommended by the Oracle. That is a Standalone server, Tomcat and WebLogic. Let's get started. First we will download the database Oracle Database 26 AI from this link. We will choose for Windows. We will download it and extract it in a folder. Next we need to download Oracle Apex 24, which is the latest release till date. After download we also extract it in a folder, and the last we have to download Oracle ORDS REST data services, and we will extract it in a folder. Let's run the setup of our database. Click next. Next, I will change a little bit in my directory. Next, here I will set my password for sys system and PDB admin. I'm setting it as Oracle for this demonstration. After finishing this database setup and installation, let's go to CMD as administrator and we will install the Oracle Apex 24.2 on our PDB. So first we need to go our Apex directory. Here I will start with SQL Plus, connect with my sys DBA, and here I will alter my session and go to my free PDB one, which is a default PDB provided in Oracle Database 26 AI. As I am in same PDB where I need to install, here I will run my Apex installation command on my default table space. This installation takes a little bit. After finishing the installation, let's set the password for admin. Choose an email, a password. This password must be some complex. Next we will alter our Apex public user. Next, we configure our Apex REST configurations for the setup of our Apex listener, Apex REST public user, and by this our Apex installation complete. Let's go to our ORDS installation and configuration and start our Apex in a standalone mode. For that, let me create a config folder on my ORDS directory. I will run my CMD as administrator. So make sure you have the Java JDK installed. I have already installed the JDK 17 version. Let's run the command java.star ords.var config and the config directory and install. Put the database credentials. My is free PDB1. I will connect with my sys as sys DBA. Here just we need to define the location of our Apex static resources, which is our Apex images. Just paste it in on the 9 serial. You can see the images folder is mapped. So the default standalone server is running on port 8080. Let's check the URL in our browser. Here you can see that the ORDS is completely configured as a standalone. I will check by entering into my internal workspace. The next step, as my Apex is already configured on my standalone server, now I will download the second deployment type, which is a Tomcat, and which is highly recommended by Oracle. Let's download the Tomcat 9 version in a 64-bit Windows. After downloading zip, I will extract it in a location. Just open the web apps folder and we will copy our ords.var from our ORDS directory. Let's copy it and paste it in our Tomcat web apps folder. And the second one we need to copy is the images folder from our Apex directory. Apex. And here we need to copy our images. This will take some time. After copying it, I will change the images folder name as I. Okay, so let's go into our bin folder of Tomcat and Here we have to start our Tomcat server. In our CMD as administrator, we will go to our bin folder of Tomcat, and here we will write the command startup.bat. So you can see on screen that Oracle REST data services initiated, and the initialized message is already appeared. Let's go to our Tomcat folder. As for this demonstration, I have to change the port of Tomcat, and my default port is 8080, which is already occupied by the standalone server. So I will change it from 8080 to 1990. Just open this server.xml file and change the port. Save our changes. And now we need to restart our Tomcat server. For that, again we will start a window of CMD as administrator. We will go to our bin directory and run the command shutdown.bat. Let's again start it by writing the command startup.bat. So you can see here again the messages of Oracle REST data services initialized. Let's go to browser and check our URL on 1990 port. Here you can see the Tomcat is running, and ORDS is running with the message, with the error message. The could not map to any database. So let's fix it. This is error 404. We'll stop our server, and we need to go to our Tomcat directory in our bin folder. Here you can find the set env.bat. If you cannot find it, you can create this folder, and in this file we will mention our configuration like this. Let's start Tomcat. Okay, so you can see the valid directory of our pool is now loaded on our Tomcat server. Tomcat is running with port 1990, and /ords is correctly loading our Oracle Apex and REST data services. So we successfully deployed our ORDS as a standalone and Tomcat. And the third most important deployment, which is recommended by the Oracle, is on Oracle WebLogic Server. Let's download the Oracle WebLogic 14c. I will download this infra file and I will extract it on a location. Let's run the cmd as administrator, and the Java is necessary for this installation. We will go to our setup file directory of WebLogic. Here we will run the command java-jar -d capital 64 and our form middleware, fusion middleware. Next. Okay, install. This will again take a while. After the installation, we will finish the setup and we will configure our directory. For that, we will go to our middleware and we will go to our Oracle common bin. Here we will copy this address and run the cmd as administrator. Let's write config.cmd. It will start the configuration wizard. Here we will configure our domain. Just click the next, put it as default. Choose a username and password for WebLogic, which is WebLogic admin server. We are choosing it for production as I'm using the Windows Server 2019 and I'm choosing a non-SSL port. I will just choose the administration services, which is administration server, and I will choose a default port as 7001. We will create our domain. Okay, finish the setup, and the next step is let's start our Oracle WebLogic server. For that we have to go to our domain home, bin directory, and by using cmd as administrator, we will go to our bin directory of WebLogic domain home, and here we will write start weblogic.cmd. We need to put our default password which we were set during the installation. You can see that the server is started and server is in running state. Let's check the URL 7001 and console. As this is Oracle WebLogic 14c, so here we have console as a separate file. We need to download that file. I have already downloaded that. Let's run the setup for Windows. I'm choosing it for administrator right now. So this will install our remote console for our WebLogic server. Just finish the setup. I will start my WebLogic console. And I will create a new connection of my local. Let's put a name local. My username is WebLogic and my password is WebLogic1. For this demonstration, I will choose it with default and make an insecure connection. So you can see it's connected. Let's go to the deployment section and app deployment. Here we will deploy our ORDS on our advanced server. For this demonstration, I will not upload, I will choose the file location completely. Our ords.var is located at our ords folder. I will put the reference of that folder and put the complete reference of file with the name. And on deployment, I want to start my application immediately. Let's create it and commit all the changes. You can see changes was successfully updated, and next we have to stop our WebLogic server. We need to restart it, which automatically deployed our ORDS on our WebLogic server. You can see the WebLogic is stopped and the console is unable to connect. Let's start it again. Here you can see that our Oracle REST data services initialized, same as that was shown on Tomcat server. So let's check the URL in our browser on our 7001 port /ords. Again, this is the error that could not map to any database. The same error we faced during deployment on Tomcat. It is running on all the two deployment server, which is standalone Tomcat, but not properly running on WebLogic. For that, fixing it, let's go to our environment variable, system variable, and here we will define java underscore tools underscore options. Make sure you put the correct name and the correct configuration directory of your ORDS config folder. Let's copy it from our ORDS. Also put this parameter which is necessary. Just put it as is. Make sure your configuration directory path is correct, which you set during a standalone server configuration. And next we need to restart our WebLogic. I will start my WebLogic server again. Here the Oracle REST data services is initialized again, but you can see an error that no pool configuration configured yet. Our pool is still missing, but we can test it in our browser. I want to show you all the errors you may face during this configuration. So I want to go you through all the steps. If I refresh my browser now on localhost 7001/ords, so you can see that ORDS is correctly running, but the Apex, Oracle Apex app development services is unavailable. So for properly configure this, resolving this issue of our configuration directory, which just we resolve in previous step, we need to restart our server completely. It is a mandatory requirement. After the restart of our server completely, we will again start our WebLogic. Start weblogic.cmd. So you can see that our pool is now with default and valid directory. Let's write the URL localhost 7001 ORDS. So you can see that Apex page is loading right now. Meanwhile, our server as a standalone and on Tomcat is also running fine. So we can go to our environment, development environment, by putting our credentials, our web workspace and username and password. Let's test it for all three deployments on Tomcat, on standalone, test workspace, test username, test password, sign in. But for the WebLogic deployment, so you will again see an error. So this is due to our Apex static directory is missing, which is normally called as i.var. Our images folder is not correctly configured yet. So we will do it now. Let's again start our console. And we will connect to our local connection which we were previously set up. Let's go to deployment and app deployment. Here we will create a new deployment which is I for our images. So there are so many ways for putting that, but the most easiest way is that you just need to copy this images folder which is available in Apex. and paste it in a directory, which in my case I'm setting it as ords underscore home on my C local drive. While images copying may take some time, after copying the complete images, I will run the cmd as administrator and I will run this command. This is the most simplest way. I will go to my ords underscore home directory. I will write it here jar dash cvf I dot var dash c capital and the images which we are in folder right now. Put a space between the images and full stop. So by this command, this will create our I.var on our directory on our ords underscore home. Now we will deploy this I.var on our app deployment in our WebLogic console. I will again put the complete reference. I will not upload it. Let's commit the changes. It will again take some while according to your available resources. After successfully deployment of I.var, we need to restart our Oracle WebLogic Server as we define that the I.var will be start on deployment. We will stop and start our WebLogic. Here you can see the valid directory is loaded. Oracle REST data service is initialized. And here you can see that ORDS is successfully deployed and running on Oracle WebLogic Server with our default and testing user, testing workspace. Hope you like the video. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe.